So there's our 75-gallon planted aquarium. Haven't taken any photos or videos in a while, but a lot has happened in the last couple of months. Number one, I have a lot of new shrimp, Neocaridina shrimp born in here. A lot of blue ones. A few red ones. Some clear ones. And a few baby snails born in here recently. Lots of shrimp, just tons of new shrimp. I had 2 different batches of them born here recently. Some of them gotten fairly good size, and then there's some little bitty tiny ones of the second batch that are in here now, just all over this aquarium. They kind of use this back corner as a nursery. And then yesterday I was watching close with this tank, checking everything out, making sure everything's fine. And I noticed some movement. I thought it was a shrimp at first, but it didn't move like a shrimp. It swam like a fish. It was really tiny, smaller than anything I have in here. And then I noticed there are some baby Corridora fry in here. They have, some of my cories have obviously crossbred and produced some fry. So that's interesting. I went online and Reddit and some of these other sites. People talk about it happening occasionally. Some people have a fit about it. Suggest getting them out of there, killing any of the fry, removing any of the eggs. They don't want these fish introduced into the industry. But at any rate, here we are. Corridors was some of the first fish I put in this tank. There's 3 albinos, 3 bronze Corridoras, 4 panda Corridoras. 2 are older than the other 2. So I only had 2 available when I got them. And recently some Julie Cories. There's one back there feeding. Yeah, the new Cory catfish fry are maybe like 1/8 of an inch long. They're really tiny. They're hard to pick out. I just put a little flake food in here. Some of our Amano shrimp. They will breed in this tank, but they won't hatch out the eggs. There's one jumbling eggs. They have to go and be in salt water for a while for that to happen. One of the albinos. They're around 2 inches long. The bronze cories are the biggest. They're over 2 inches, well over 2 inches long. There's one back there, bronze cory. And the Julie cories are barely an inch long. There's 3 of those. The new cories, the hybridized cories in here, are like I said, are very tiny. They appear to be like spotted. They don't look obviously like any of the cories I have in here. But some of them were just out up front. They hid really well for the first a few weeks back in this area back here, because I pay a lot of attention to this tank and I didn't notice them at all until just yesterday. I've counted about 5 or 6 of them. Here's one way back in there feeding. There's a tiny one. You can see it right there by that blue shrimp. So they're smaller than these Neocaridina shrimp. Here's one. Sometimes I'll find them in the catappa leaf here in the cave. Go through a lot of leaves. Catappa leaves, and I sometimes put some oak leaves underneath this cave. Oak leaves from the yard. All the cardinal tetras are doing really well. So many new shrimp. I added some silver hatchet fish. And there's some marbled hatchets in here. A lot of water flow, a lot of movement, so topwater plants didn't really work out too well. So I had some duckweed that came in on some black devil spike snails I ordered. They're like maybe 3 pieces of duckweed at most. And I just said I'd toss them in here, and they're reproducing pretty good. The hatchet fish like them. And I've transferred some to another tank. Just a few of them. There's one of the bronze cories. I put these shrimp lolly sticks in here. Put one in here just the other day and I ate it right down to the stick. For some reason I didn't really care for them in the beginning when I started putting them in here, but as of lately they do. And it's about time to take the Rhino mothballs out of the tank and rinse them off really well. Put them in some clear water and into the fridge for a couple of days. It revitalizes them. They've grown a little bit since I put them in here. I think there's like maybe a dozen of them in here. I have them in all my tanks. But yeah, I'll pay attention, watch these little, there's another one there. There was one right there until this bronze cory bulldozed it out of the way. But I'll check on these new cories, these hybrid cories, and see if there's any deformities or anything at all wrong with them. And then just let them grow in here. I was thinking about adding a new species of cories in here anyway. I never have to vacuum the bottom of this tank, largely because of the cories. They're constantly feeding, turning over everything. New Julies in there. And the shrimp, of course, turn over every little grain of sand in here. And the snails. Had a couple of baby rabbit snails born, and at least one of these black devil spike snails. There's another one over here feeding. Oh, here's a couple of those little bitty catfish. Those new Cory fry back here by this moss ball feeding. They're really tiny. Going in and out of this log. Panda Cory back here by this Higer acrylic air stone. I like Higer products. I have Higer sponge filters. I have 2 of them in here. Higer LEDs on 24-hour cycle. And a Higer heater, which is nice because if I ever forget to turn it off, it's not going to blow up on me when I'm doing a water change. Of course, I never forget to, but yeah, there's tons of baby shrimp in here, tons of new shrimp feeding everywhere. And down here is a 10-gallon quarantine tank. And it presently has a golden algae eater and a spotted talking catfish. They're both taking up residence together in this one log over here. Of course, talking catfish are nocturnal, so you don't see them very often. Pretty shy fish. Let me reach down in here. Yeah, see if I can get them to come out. Here comes the algae eater. Come on, guys. There's the algae eater. Talking catfish is actually down the side of there, so I'll just leave him be. He doesn't want to come out. But yeah, they're getting along okay. The algae, golden algae eaters, at least 5 to 6 inches long. I had 3 of them in here. Talking catfish, got a hold of one, ate one of them in early quarantine, and then the other one I have in a 20-gallon tall tank. These two, for some reason, get along great. Anyway, they'll get permanent homes here soon. Yeah, tons of new shrimp, lots of blue ones, mostly blue ones, and some clear ones. There's one on the cuttlebone there. I keep a piece of cuttlebone in this tank for the shrimp and the snails. Shrimp like to hang upside down. Okay, he's going these logs. A lot of activity in here, I like that. Cories are constantly moving, the shrimp are constantly moving. And there's a good balance with the bottom feeders and the neons in the middle and the hatchet fish on top. I'm going to add a couple more species of schooling or shoaling fish in here, not positive which kind yet. These new Julie cories are still a little shy, and of course the hybridized ones are really good at hiding. They're hard to find in here. The pandas, little panda cory right there. This one albino. Anyway, yeah, so that's a 75-gallon tank. I've transplanted so much of this Mamba magenta. It grows really fast. So almost every water change, I take some of the tallest ones out because they'll grow another foot long here if I let them. I pull them out by the roots and take about 6 or so inches off the top, group 4 or 5 of them together, and then poke them back down into the substrate. They grow really fast, and I think they get a little more colorful after transplanting them. But yeah, there's some of the first plants I put in here. Yeah, so over a month ago I noticed some eggs on one of these broadleaf plants, and I thought maybe it was this one really big pond snail I have in here. I had some snails came in on, or even snail eggs that came in on some plants once, and they managed to get in here. I finally got rid of all the pond snails. And then I noticed one in there that had gotten quite large, and I just left it. It's really active. I don't know where it's at right now, but it's over an inch long, maybe closer to 2. It's really beautiful, and they're highly active. It's always on the move, always clean here, way more than my rabbit snails. There goes this shrimp on top of a rabbit snail, and far more than my spiked snails. cories. So I'm thinking maybe it's obviously not from the Julies because we've only had those for 8 days now, and like they're barely the two biggest ones. There's 3 of them in there, and they're barely an inch long. So I highly doubt that they've managed to breed in here, lay eggs, fertilize them, and grow up already to a few weeks to fry. So I highly doubt that. More than likely it's one of the bronze cories and possibly the pandas, one of the pandas. Although it could be one of the albinos too. I guess they can crossbreed as well. But I don't see it as a controversy or an emergency or any reason for me to be chasing these little fry in here and eradicating them, for God's sake. It's not like any of my fish are going to climb out of this tank and waddle all the way to Petco or PetSmart or some other big store around here and climb in their tanks unnoticed and start breeding and getting out there in the aquarium world. That's quite a stretch. I'm not going to sell any of these fish. I'm not giving any of them away. And they could literally live for a really long time. Some cories up over 10 years, so if I need another aquarium for them, I'll get one. But good luck, good luck catching anything in here. Good luck catching any fry in here without some kind of a trap small enough for only them to get in. I'm not doing that. It's ridiculous. Some people are ridiculous. But everything's doing great. I might transplant these to the 20-gallon tall tank. Put something else back here. Not really sure. These new baby shrimp. Spent a lot of time on these filters, feeding on biofilm and leftover food. I use Bacter A, Bacter AE pretty much almost every day in here. And do weekly water change every 7 to 10 days. I don't need to, but I do. I use some of these Microlift brand. This is a substrate cleaner. I use that occasionally, pour just a tiny bit of that in. Of course, Microlift, vitamins, amino acids, and they get Fritzyme trace elements after every water change. I add fresh bacterias. Microlift, I really like Microlift brand is therapy. Bacterias. Microlift. And what, another one here. A special blend. I add a little bit of that after every water change. I also have a Tidal 110 hanging in the back filter that I've modified. I drilled in a lot of holes in the container. The filter container. I like this filter. It's easy to maintain. There's some crushed coral in there. And some floss on the top as a polisher, and the rest is just sponges. I changed this floss on the top regularly because it really gets dirty. But if I lift this up far enough, you can see all the holes I drilled all in the bottom, all the way around the back on the sides. It dramatically increases the water flow. And I think improves this filter a great deal. I just splash a little water on top of these Hygger lights, but that's what I like about them. These can literally actually fall into the aquarium while they're on, and they're not gonna hurt anything. I'm not gonna electrocute myself or harm the fish. They start out like a deep burnt orange early in the morning when the sun comes up. Get brighter and brighter. And then a really deep dark blue in the evening when the sun's down and the moon's out. And then it goes out until the morning again. So that's the 75-gallon aquarium. I'm going to give you an update on the new Corridora hybrid fry. As they get bigger and more identifiable, and you get pictures of them. I built these caves. My wife and I got these slate stones on the property. And some at what used to be a quarry. This 2-story cave. And this one, the moss on a flame moss on the top. Yeah, that's this tank. Sorry for so much moving around. I'm just trying to find a little Cory fry while I'm filming. You see one way back in there. Anyway, yeah, they're really small still. I'll get some better pictures of them in a couple weeks. But yeah, there's a couple leading way in the back. Here, I see 2, 3 of them. Maybe some of the same ones that were feeding over there on the right side of the tank. And quickly over here to the latest tank I set up, the 20-gallon high. There's a golden algae in there. You can see him burrowed out some holes underneath the driftwood, and a ram. A nice little ram my wife picked out last time we were out. Still a little shy. And the Horton stones, we named these. Got these from a friend. And these from what used to be a quarry. And yeah, there's a trilobite fossil. You see the eyeballs on it. And a nice piece of petrified wood. We got a sponge filter and a hang on the back filter with just sponges and floss. Built this little cave a couple weeks ago. There's that ram. little bit of duckweed and another Higer light, Higer heater. On the back, this driftwood's got stones lodged into it, and the algae eater has already made some pass-throughs underneath it and dug it out. I just dug that out to the bottom of the tank. That's fine. And then this is the newest addition. It's a 60 gallon tank with a stand we picked up on Facebook, and I'm gonna make that into a saltwater aquarium here soon. Golden algae eater. Alright, so